Aquarius, this is your week ahead astrology forecast from Astrology Motivation by Born Without Boundaries. This is for the week of May 3rd to May 9th. This is all my notes. Got a little stain on there from lunch. I gotta write it down. But what we're gonna do in this video is go over all this information, and this covers the major planetary aspects and transits for the week of May 3rd to the 9th, 2023. Not only the major aspects, but how they most impact you via your natal suns. So how do you know where your natal sun is located? Well, you have your natal chart, and on your natal chart, it'll tell you what degree of Aquarius your natal sun is located on. It's located on 0 through 29, so it's one of those. You don't have to have your natal chart or know exactly where your sun is located, because I will be able to estimate the correlating dates, but most accurate is to go get that natal chart. You'll need your birth date, which you already have, your birth time, and your birth location, all of which is located on your birth certificate. You just plug it into one of these free sites that produces natal charts. It pops it out in a couple of seconds, and then you will definitely have your full natal chart, and you will know where your sun is located in Aquarius. So if your sun is located between 0 and 9 degrees Aquarius, you are Aquarius 1. If your sun is located between 10 and 19 degrees Aquarius, you are Aquarius 2. And if your sun is located between 20 and 29 degrees Aquarius, you are Aquarius 3. And we're going to first start out with the big things that are happening that are going to impact everybody this week. And then we're going to whittle that down into the specific things that you as Aquariuses should be paying attention to, and then finish it off with those decans as to how they are going to directly impact your natal sun. So kick your heels back and get ready for some major deep dive astrology, Aquariuses. You ready? Okay. This week, the big transits are two. One, we have a full moon in Scorpio, and it is a lunar eclipse that will not be visible to those like me who are living in the United States, but for many people in the world, you will be able to see it. It will impact us all. It is a penumbral eclipse, which means it's not in the darkest part of Earth's shadow, but it is definitely fully in part of Earth's shadow. So it is going to be a full lunar eclipse. Excuse me. That'll happen. I don't have the exact time, but no, it'll happen on May 5th. So this lunar eclipse is happening while the sun, which is always a part of a solar eclipse. A lunar, which is always a part of a full moon, right? The sun is in opposition to every full moon. That's how the moon gets full. It has the full effect of the sun, or the full light of the sun to reflect at the nighttime. So at the nighttime during the evening. So this sun is in Taurus, where the sun is right now, and the sun is conjunct. During this full moon, the sun is going to be conjunct Mercury retrograde, and it's also going to be conjunct Uranus. And as the week goes on, the conjunction between Uranus and the sun gets more and more intense until on the 9th, which is the last day of the week we're covering here, the sun and Uranus are in perfect conjunction at 18 degrees Taurus. So what does this mean? It means that this is like a eureka moment when it comes to what you have to release and what you have to let go, and where all the toxicity and toxins and what's been making you sick and sad, all guilt and shame, why it's been happening. So it is what is almost like the catalyst for the release that is going to force that Scorpio moon to finally purge all that toxic crap that needs to be getting rid of. This could be some really healing energy that's going on, a catharsis of sorts that allows us to understand what is causing our pain so that we can immediately fix it. And I think that there will be beautiful revelations that happen over this new full moon. We also have another major transit, which is Venus. Venus is moving from Gemini into Cancer, and that will be happening. I believe, on the 7th of May. She's much happier in Cancer. She's much, I won't say lighter hearted, but more romantic and lovey-gooey. And this would definitely be the time for long-term relationships and commitments to start forming. She's also much more practical and much more practical, generous, but she really likes to take care of her money. So she's much more financially responsible and adept as well. We really like Venus in Cancer. While Venus is in Cancer, at least for this week, Venus is going to be in a grand trine with Saturn, the South Node, and Venus. So there's real tranquility and harmony here happening between financial commitments, or maybe even with financial institutions. So let's wait and see how that impacts us. Maybe even from, I don't know, since Venus is in Cancer, this could also be some sort of resolution with family issues or family funds, or something to do with, family money, like harmonizing and figuring things out and settling in, especially with that South Node energy as a part of it, making peace with the past. Maybe finances finally come in or settle down. This will be happening over the next week. It's a really nice thing to have. And Venus, just by herself trine Saturn, means she's much more serious about love. She's much more long-term committed. So this is definitely a time when it may not be as sexy as it is serious about really committing and not being afraid of it. So this is nice energy, I gotta say. I like that energy a lot. Another big aspect, not transit, but aspect, is Jupiter square to Pluto. This started last week. It will continue through this week, all of this week, and into next week, probably all of next week. And by the 7th, Mars joins this major square in the sky, because Mars will move into a position in Cancer so that it's close enough to Leo so that there's an opposition between Pluto and Mars, which puts Mars also square to Jupiter. So you'll have this square in the sky, this grand square of Jupiter conjunct the North Node, square to Pluto, square to Mars, while Mars is square to the North Node and the South Node, and in opposition to Pluto. What does this mean? This is like something's about to explode. This is almost like the pressure that creates the bomb. It's going to explode. So I would say something, especially during this week or into next week, could be this push through moment, this relentlessness, this energy of I'm not giving up and this will happen and I won't accept no for an answer, is kind of like possessing all of us. So, dig your heels into your morals and ethics, because you really don't want to allow this energy to control you and allow you to take you anywhere it wants to go, because that will lead to some majorly bad karma. But if you screw your ethics to its sticking place, then you actually can come out very, very much ahead. Let's get into the things, double down Aquarius, as to what you should specifically be paying attention to. We always go to Uranus and Saturn, because Uranus is your modern ruling dignitary and Saturn is your traditional ruler. Uranus this week, all week, is at 18 degrees Taurus, and it is conjunct the sun. It is in opposition to the full moon, and it is at full conjunction, perfect conjunction at 18 degrees Taurus with the sun on the 9th of this week. So the fact that it's a part of this new moon, it's what instills the eureka part, the brilliance, the thinking outside of the box, the oh my God, I can't believe I didn't see it before, seeing things differently, doing things weird, wanting to rebel and let go and release and not be held captive, right? That's sort of just adding to the energy of let's push forward, let's push through this, the eureka moment of discovery and understanding. Saturn is going to be at 5 degrees Pisces, where it's going to be in Pisces for 3 years. So 5 degrees Pisces, but this week it's part of a grand trine with the South Node and with Venus, which puts it in a very, especially in Pisces, an I can do kind of romantic, maybe even romanticizing the past a little bit, or drawing inspiration from it to amalgamate something into the real, right? The reality, the realm of reality. This is drawing, it's like drawing inspiration from your past in order to balance out what's happening now. This is something almost like harmonious that's coming through. What a sweet and beautiful connection, and what a sweet and beautiful energy it is. It's also sextile. Saturn is sextile to the North Node, which it will be for quite some time. And most of the week it's going to be says a square to Mars. Says a square is kind of a frustrated energy, which means I just don't feel like it knows what to do with itself. It can just have this agitation or irritation kind of feeling under the skin, especially when it comes to, okay, well, if all these new things are amalgamating into reality, what rules, laws, and regulations do we put on them? So now there's a little bit more freedom, I think, around Saturn than it's comfortable with, but not so uncomfortable because of that beautiful trine. So I like that trine so much more than, I don't think this says a square is going to do much. Let's get into the decans, shall we? So Aquarius 1. Aquarius 1, your natal suns are and will be for quite some time conjunct to Pluto, which means there's major changes that are going to be going on in your life. This is your butterfly period. You already know that. Another long-term aspect that you're dealing with is a sextile to Neptune. With the conjunction to Pluto, that means you are becoming more than your wildest dreams. I don't think even you could have imagined, because it's almost like you're creating and bringing something brand new into the world. And that's going to be happening over the next couple of years. With these new concepts, you would be the forefront or the leader of those. This week in particular, you are going to be ground zero for a square to Jupiter. Since your sun is conjunct Pluto, it is also in the position to be square to Jupiter. And it is going to be says a square to Mercury retrograde and says a square to the North Node. So there's some sort of discomfort with moving forward, maybe because of information that still needs to come in from the past. But ultimately, there is this also opposition to Mars. You guys are eventually going to be in opposition to Mars as of the 7th of this week. So that's especially you cuspers. This week, it's really just the people, those of you who have your natal suns really close to Capricorn. Those would be those Aquarius is born in January, especially like January 21st, 22nd, 23rd. You guys especially, you'll start feeling that opposition to Mars this week. What does that mean? Just pugilistic, just popping off, discontent at anything, like jumping out of your skin. It's really hard to control that energy, especially conjunct Pluto. So I think that there are going to be things that are happening, and it could be quite destructive. So just be particularly aware of that energy. With Mercury retrograde, it might be something that is coming from the past that really sets you off, and that really irritates you, that it maybe wants to disrupt or be a part of moving forward, or feeling like you can't move forward as much as you want to. So it can be overall a very frustrating and contentious week for you, just an FYI. This week. Overall, I think the conjunction to Pluto and the sextile to Neptune will really help you move forward and make a lot of progress in your life over the next couple of years. But this week presents a lot of frustration. Aquarius 2s. Your natal suns are sextile to Chiron, have been and will be for a while. That is opportunities or being inspired to improve your life because of what you've been through, or finding ways to share what you've been through to help other people succeed. This has been a driving factor for you for a while and will continue to be. This week, your natal suns are square to the sun, square to Uranus, and you will be square to the sun conjunct Uranus during the full moon. You're also square to the moon in Scorpio. So this is quite a contentious and challenging eruption, probably a very emotional time for you, especially around this full moon. Dealing with toxicity, having to face it, major discomfort, but also major progress. Once you do this new moon, you'll start to feel it. Definitely, you'll start to feel it by like the 4th, probably the 4th, 5th, and the 6th. You guys will sort of be reeling from this energy. FYI, this is predominantly, I don't want to say predominantly in one specific area of your life, but it's really ultimately the purpose is to detox and release, and that will pose a lot of challenges around you, even maybe perhaps because of the perception of you externally. And so there could be quite a kerfuffle or challenge that happens this week. And then we have Aquarius 3s. So Aquarius 3s, you kind of have the most gentle of everybody this week. There is a sextile between your natal suns and Jupiter, which is one of the most benefic connections you can have, or aspects you can have. So this is a blessed week for you, and Jupiter will open up a lot of opportunities that you didn't even ask for or expect. That's just receive that blessing. In addition to that, your natal suns are also trine to Venus, which is romantic and harmonious, and also very benefic energy when it comes to balancing out your banking account, your finances, your sense of self-value, harmony in your romantic relationship. As Venus goes into Cancer, she gets more family oriented. She gets to be around family, wants to be around family more, finding and drawing tranquility from that. This is beautiful. This is a beautiful week for you guys. And this is why knowing where your natal sun is located is so important. And another reason why traditional horoscopes are just trash. I mean, if you compare the radical difference between what twos are experiencing versus what ones are experiencing, and especially with you guys who are experiencing really a lot of wonderful things, I can't even tell you enough. Stop listening to traditional horoscopes right now. They're bullshit. So Aquarius 3s are those Aquariuses. Definitely February Aquariuses, probably sometime between the 9th or 10th and the 19th and 20th of Aquarius season of February. Just so you can correlate the birthdays there. You guys are quincunx to Mars. It just means that you may not want to make any there's not much moving forward, or that you're just not ready to, you're not jumping at the bit to be aggressive. You're less aggressive and more peaceful in harmony, and opportunities are coming to you like blessings this week. Enjoy this energy, Aquarius 3s. It's gorgeous. Please leave your comments below and let me know how you guys are interacting or connecting or experiencing this energy. Also, come across the Born Without Boundaries Tarot and watch your week ahead astrology, your week ahead tarot card reading. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you next week. Bye, Aquarius.